It's always worth checking. Is it? I don't know why it says upcoming. It's not like it's delayed by any seconds. Like, okay. Working? Are you working? Like, okay, yeah, it is. So my game crashed when I tried to turn visuals on while I was down here. And I went into the game again to try to turn on visuals first before starting the stream. This part. And it crashed again, so it just doesn't like vibrant visuals with water, I guess. I don't know. Not very nice. I don't know if it's just because I'm on an older system, or if it's because it's just finicky. Either one, really. So I'll try to tour this again with our visuals later, but I guess it doesn't like me switching it when I'm down here. Too many things to load, I guess? I don't know. It didn't like it, so... Don't want that happening again. It works, but it did not like it that time. So I guess I'll tour the other base, and then I'll come back here. Maybe then I'll work on... I don't know. I'll tour the other base, and then I'll start working on the end project for a bit. I don't know how long I'll have. Because I don't want any interruptions. I'm only doing this stream because nobody's home right now, so there's no one interrupting. So let's get away from the ocean before I turn that on again. That was funny, I guess. I don't know. I haven't had the game crash in a while. But I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I think the PS4 is still making noise because it doesn't like when I'm streaming either. That is not a good... I know you're joking, but that's not a good thing to ask people. Never give your social security number to anybody. That is never something you should ever do. Okay. Before I go to the second base, actually, I'll show you the minecart track over here. Why am I in third person? I keep doing that because I'm so used to being in the end where I need to have a pumpkin on my head. I don't need that. It's getting dark. I should probably sleep first. Why am I standing up while doing this? I am tempted to turn private visuals on again, but I don't want the game to crash. Because like I've been through it with private visuals on before, so I don't know if the latest update broke it or not. Like, I don't know. Sure, I don't think I turned on private visuals when I was down in the ocean, but. Anyway, let's go over here. It's nothing super interesting, but Sometimes has trouble getting up that, but that's fine. It works. It just works. To steal a phrase from Todd Howard. It's very pretty though. This is a very pretty area. Just more jungle over here. The bamboo hasn't rendered in. There it goes. I more just did this because, well, I wanted to get access to the abandoned mineshaft easier, even though there's no real reason to. I just thought it would be cool. You sound like every corporation right now. Have you seen anything about Google doing its like age sensing AI to like not Google for, well, I guess it is Google because it's YouTube. They rolled it out like 2 days ago, but only to certain people in the United States. Oh yeah, there's a cow. But you can see down there is an abandoned mine shaft. But I guess I have to go because he's in the way. So. Oh god. I don't know why, but I guess I have to just hold it forward on this one. I probably should add another. I rarely ever come here, so I don't really need to add another powered rail, but I probably should. Yeah, it was that, to talk about the YouTube thing. It was started because Australia and the UK have been doing like adding new laws related to like child protection. That's what it says it's for the internet. But it's like, and then instead of just doing it for those countries that have laws like that, YouTube decided, well, we'll do it for the US too, because they might get, they're just jumping the gun, because the US might look into some laws like that. Though I just see it as unnecessary, because the internet should not be the parent. The parent should be the parent. So it's just unnecessary. I think it's related to how old the account is and what people watch, but it's like I still watch Minecraft videos and stuff. So some videos that people would think would be like immature, and I'm like, I'm an adult. So it's like, that doesn't make any sense. But like, there's a chance whenever it's fully implemented, it might think I'm younger than I am, and I'm just like, that's not how that works. That's not how that should work. Okay, before I go to the secondary base, let's try again to turn on vibrant visuals. Please don't crash the game, because I would like to showcase what this looks like with that on. I'll give you a few seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, it did work. Because I'm not in the ocean, I guess. So let's go back over here. It's a little laggy. I don't really know how I feel about vibrant visuals. It looks okay. There's just some things about it that look off to me. It looks, well, too vibrant. It's just, the colors look off. I don't know what it is. I feel like they could have put more time into it. I don't know. Like, it's neat, but I think like the shaders that have been on Java forever, I think do look better. Is it getting dark already? Or is it just the vibrant visuals? It gets really loud actually when I go into first person. The sound effects get louder. I guess because I'm closer to them? I don't know. But it does look pretty nice. It's the turning anim. I think it's just because it's clunkier, so it just looks weirdly smooth. I don't know. Looks different. Turning animation. What's going on with Pokemon fans? Is it just because Pokemon fans like Pokemon videos would seem like immature videos, so they would be marked as children even though they're not? I wonder what percentage of the Pokemon community is still young children. I'm imagining still a good amount, but it's like, you see a lot of 30-plus-year-old people playing those games. Okay, there we go. I still have my 3DS. Eventually one of these days I'd like to go back to playing Gen 5. I only played it a little bit as a kid and I never finished it. Because you can play DS games on 3DSs. The real test is to go back to the underwater base. Like, I get, like, it's not even because I was streaming it crashed. It's like, it crashed when I wasn't streaming too, like when I tried to set it up again. It just really doesn't like underwater. You'd think, oh, because it has two equally big loads on whatever, it would try to crash instantly, but as you can see, it's not. So it's just weird. That's going to be the big test. By the way, I see that you have your survival world open. For whatever reason, when I see like a friend's world in my thing, it says unknown type of world, but I'm like, your world's called survival, so I'm guessing it's a survival world. Like when I see like a friend world available to play, I'm like, I wonder if I should just randomly join one day and be like, hey, what are you guys doing? But I always say to myself, no, probably shouldn't do that. Be funny. This isn't even like all the skeleton horses. Like, I think there's probably a few that I've just completely killed all the skeleton horses. It's just happened that many times. Should I go to bed again? There's my old school beacon. Like, it does look very pretty. It's very slow though. Is he? Like, I haven't played with either of you guys for probably like all year. I sometimes look at the group chat and I'm just like, what the heck is going on in there? This is very, very laggy. That's another reason I don't like to play vibrant visuals on. It's just not. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Who even is that? Is that a new guy? Have I now? Because I don't say anything? Oh. I remember, like, he tried to... He asked if I wanted to play Minecraft, or Fortnite the other day, or like a week or two ago, and I was like, I don't know if I want to. Referring to Brayden, by the way, not whoever that is. And I'm just like, I haven't played Fortnite in like a month. I only played it like the first like day, and I didn't even play it. I just logged on to see what the new stuff was. I didn't even play it, and like the entirety of last season. I played Save the World a bit this season, but I'm like, I haven't. My Sea of Thieves. Yeah, it's like a, and I was like, well, I'd rather play Minecraft, but he didn't want to play that. It's like I'm not gonna get in the way of you guys playing different games. So should I explore this world with fire visuals during the night? Can I see because the sun's not out, you can't see like the cool water ripple effect on the like the bottom. It looks really nice. Let's see. Let's get in the boat. Let's hope it doesn't crash. Like it seems to be pretty stable when you already have it turned on. But it doesn't like when you turn it on when you're under the water. It doesn't like that at all. But you can see it's very, very clear. Like the water is very clear. So one thing I don't like is it just kind of ruins the effect of the underwater tunnels. Because you don't really see any blue of the water. Also, for whatever reason, the glass is very, very bright. Like, it's very bright in Vibrant Visuals. I like how you can see the moon and the sun reflection on the water. It looks really nice. Yeah, I don't really care for them. But you see how, like, it almost looks like the glass glows. Like, it's very, very bright. It's very strange. Like it's especially worse like during the day because it's like you can't even really see the water. Like now, like yeah, at night you can see how blue the water is, but like during the day not so much, especially when you're in the glass tunnel. Because it just filters it out. You can't see it. Okay. At the same time, I don't know what you guys would talk about, so I don't know if I want to join it. You can see here's the underwater base at night. It looks pretty cool. Is that glow squid? No, that's a drowned. The drowned are very bright. Like, one thing I've noticed is a lot of things are very bright with Vibrant Visuals. Like, a lot of things like glowed where they didn't before. Like, sure, I think drowned faces were kind of glowy already, but like, they're very obvious now. Like, isn't this cool? Like, this is one reason I made it, because I just thought it'd be cool. Like, it just... Is it necessary for me to make this? No, heck no, of course not. But that's what you want to do with Minecraft. You don't want to make it because it's necessary. You want to make it because you want to do it. Like, it's just fun, cool, interesting. I love how with visuals you can just perfectly see inside there. It's a lot less obvious what's in there with regular graphics. Oh yeah, that's an interesting thing. When you see slimes through water and glass, they glow like yellow. It's very weird. But that's a thing on normal graphics too. That just happens. They don't. I think it's something because of how transparent they are. It's interesting. Let's see. You guys still gonna talk in here, or do you want me to join it? You guys even still in here? Very happy with how the Minecraft sign turned out. Like, sure, I don't have like, it's not like three-dimensional or anything. There's no nether portal hidden inside. I could do that, but I just feel like it's unnecessary. the creeper. Turtle Island. Is the lighthouse still working? Probably not. Probably not. Oh, there's there's some zombies on the top of the creeper. I see that. Are they just regular zombies or do they have armor on? I think it's just regular zombies. There's no real convincing way I could light up the top of the creeper without it looking weird. It's very pretty. Oh yeah, like, could I do that? Like, I know I can do that, I just haven't done that yet. I just don't want too many things on the screen. I could give it an arm and a torch, and then give it a crown, and that's where the torches would be on the inside to light up the top of the head. That could work. I just think it would look really weird. Like I did make it. It's like, oh yeah, this is my little Statue of Liberty, my Colossus of Rhodes. I don't know, like this is my little thing that marks my territory, kind of thing. I don't know. But just look how vibrant the glass is. My God, like if this was in normal graphics mode, you'd probably barely be able to see it. It's crazy. Oh, someone's home. Okay, my brother just came home from, I don't know, work, his girlfriend's house, I don't know. Yeah, I never showed off this. Like, so here's my little melon patch. It's very laggy down here. A little farm, bunch of bricks. Enchantment room. Map room, which I did get the enchantment, not the enchantment, the achievement for making a map wall like this. I didn't have that before, apparently. I did get that in this world. Here's my chest room and my first lava farm. One of 3. That would be funny. I might look into doing that when they add more copper stuff, because that's the next update. More copper stuff, like the copper golem, a bunch of other things. I probably have tons and tons and tons of copper because I just saw it as useless, so I didn't ever use it. Is this rock hod? Why do I have rock hod? I thought I cooked it. Did I put away the cooked ones? I think I did. Have I been eating rock hod this whole time? How did I not notice that? I don't know. Like, I think the more updates, the better. Sure, they're not as big, but I'm like, to be honest, I'd rather have more, like, spread out things than just one giant update every year, because then the rest of the year just feels bland. Yeah, I didn't. I put away the cooked ones. Dang it. What is wrong with me? I didn't notice. They don't. I guess they do look kind of similar. it's like, sure, you get less stuff, but I'd rather have 2 updates a year than just one, and one that's near the end of the year. As cool as, oh yeah, here's the water effects. Like, look at that. Look how pretty that is. It looks so realistic. I love it. You can't really see it when you're like on the top of the water, but you can see it when you go underneath it. It's really pretty. I love that. Yeah, I do think it's a better idea. Like, it's not that different from what they did before, but it's not like... It's not like, I do think it's the better approach, to be honest. Minecraft Live number 2, and yes, they do 2 now a year, should be in the next month. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, I should probably put that away. Do I have... Yeah, there's a lead in there. Yeah, Minecraft Live number 2 should be in a month or so. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's time to go back to the underwater base, and then I'll showcase the secondary base, which is what Brain would call the evil villain lair, which was not the intention. It was more just, oh, let's make a base with Minecraft beta aesthetics in mind. But in those, in the references I use, just use those types of ideas. So should I get in there? I might go in there after this. But you can just see, look how clear the water is. It barely even looks blue. That's my major problem. You can barely see the blue of the water. It just looks like you're floating on something. Like, it doesn't, you barely even see it. It's my major issue. It doesn't look as good. To me, anyway. It just looks off. It looks better at night than it does during the day. Like, look. Especially when you're through glass. There's no... You can't even tell there's water there. It looks so weird. I do like this, though. I like how you can see the reflection. I like the... Because there's now actual shadows, you can see the light pass through the glass, which... I didn't know they were going to add vibrant visuals and stuff. I just thought, oh, if they ever did something like that, this would look really cool. So I made that with, like... This would look really cool with shadows. But it does look... I think it looks pretty. I like the little glass design I did. A sundial in the middle? That would be cool. But obviously, because I don't play environment visuals much, I don't know how useful or interesting that would be, but I could see myself doing that. But you can see, it just doesn't look like there's any water there at all. I don't know why the sound effects glitch when I look right. That doesn't make any sense. When I'm on a minecart track, that's just weird. A sundial would be cool. It is very pretty. I do like it. This base turned out pretty nice with vibrant visuals on. I just think with how vibrant visuals is right now, it's a little odd to me, because you just can't really tell you're underwater, besides the fact you're, well, surrounded by kelp everywhere, and you see dolphins and stuff above you. But it's like, you can barely even see the water. You know there's water because these droplets, but you can't see it. It just looks like the sky when you're in like a glass tunnel like this. Like, I don't know. like, it's pretty interesting how like the reflections like to the side, because yeah, the sun's right here, so it goes this way. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, whatever I do not switch graphics modes when I'm here, because it seems to crash the game. Hey, I have a cobblestone generator here because how else did I make a lot of that stuff? You can see the other thing over there. I didn't look through this window with normal graphics on, but I think it looks really cool because you can tell you're underwater. Everything's dark, and you can see the light coming from that, but with fire visuals on, it just doesn't look like you're underwater at all. It just looks weird. Anything in here yet? Is there? No, I think it's outside. That sounded like a drowned. Was that a drowned? Yeah, I think so. Let's go to the theme park. The theme park that only I can access. I don't know, I feel like the lava should be brighter. It doesn't look that bright, to be honest. It's very... I don't know. Maybe. I'll have to look into it. It's just weird. I mean, it's like, that looks fine. Is it just because it's under glass? Like, because I'm in glass, I think? That might be it. You can see, there's the theme park. I think it looks cool. I think it might be just the water passing, like, being seen through glass might be the problem. So, yeah, I did point out, I guess, that I was, when I was out of the, like, when I was in front of the ocean, I could barely even see the water either. I do like how glowy the powered rails are. They're very, they look like they're lit up, which is cool. Which obviously they should look lit up because they're supposed to be, but they really didn't before. Oh yeah, snow golem must have gotten here at some point. It was a pain to get the snow to stay, because I was like, I initially tried sea lanterns, that melted the snow. Obviously, regular torches melted the snow, and I'm like, I don't know if soul torches melt snow or not, but if they do, they melt it at a lower rate, I think, so that's why I used those. It also just looks kind of like icy, so it's kind of cool. So I'm happy with how that turned out. Let's go up here. There's the sun. There's the other ocean monument. But it looks very nice. It's just, you don't see a lot of underwater bases in Minecraft, so I wanted to do something that most people don't do. And I think it turned out alright. Should I sleep? I don't know. Probably will, but I'll sit here and wait for the sun to set. Look at that. That's pretty. The setting sun does look very good. It almost looks like it'd be like on the surface of the moon or something. If I removed like all the all the kelp and stuff, it almost looks like a moon base. ironically, these streams have been more me touring the world than working on the end base, but I'll get to it. Unfortunately, I think I also died with a lot of my tools when I fell off in the end with my OP stuff, so I think I lost like my silk touch stuff. So it's gonna be a bit difficult to get the grass to the lower level until I guess I could wait for an Enderman to grab. I can wait for an Enderman to grab the a grass block, put him in a boat, and kill him, and then I would get the grass block. So I could do that. That'd probably be easier, to be honest. But I just haven't brought a boat into the end yet. I could easily make one though. I don't know if anyone's still watching this. But time to go to the other base. I'll keep Vibrant Vigils on, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll go back to the end. I don't know when the next time I'll stream after this. Might not be for a while because I just don't know what to talk about. I used to stream all the time. Currently, none of those streams are public anymore, just because I was like, I don't know if I want to keep these up. I'd rather have people watch my normal videos than me doing not much and just talking to myself. Because like my streams get a lot more views than my regular videos would. And I was just like, it's not like they're any better. Like, sure, my videos aren't great. I don't really have any budget. Like, I don't put money into these videos, I just use Share Factory and stuff, and I don't really know how, even though I've used the software for a few years now, it's like I don't really know how to do very complicated things with it. I don't have a laptop, so I can't like export things into it. Like I can't like export images and stuff and other things to add to it. Like that's probably how you make better videos with Share Factory, is by exporting assets into it. But I can't do that. So you're kind of at the moment. So it's like it's kind of limiting. It's just like, I don't know. I can't think of many things to talk about. I don't know if I want like my raw commentary in every video. I don't play with headsets on much when I'm playing normally, so they wouldn't be able to pick up my audio anyway. It's just like, if I play like GBO2, it's like, oh, I'm gonna be, if it makes it into a video, I don't remember what I'd really talk about. It's more just like a mix of me getting frustrated by all the annoying things I had to deal with in that game or whatever, and then being happy that I'm doing well if it's a thing that gets turned into a video. Those are brown sheep, right? Yeah, I'd imagine. So the second base is over there, but on like past the underwater base is a jungle, and if I have to go through that jungle a bit to get to the second one. Are they now? Doesn't really make much sense. Why would you watch someone play a game without them saying anything? I guess I'm describing my own videos because that's most of the things I've like. All my Gundam videos mostly don't have commentary because I'm like, I sometimes add like a text commentary if I can think of something, but I can't think of something most of the time, so usually it's like oh, this is what I was thinking of at the time when I add that. Like, this is what I either said. just like, I don't know. My Gundam videos don't do that well most of the time, but I have fun with them. It's the only game that I really have, besides Minecraft, it's the only game I really have like continuous fun with. I've been playing the game for, even if it is very frustrating at times. It's like, I'm playing the game GBO2, which is Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. It's just had its 7th anniversary. We're now in week 3 of that event. So this is the secondary base. With the gigantic cobblestone pyramid. And statues of myself. That's me from the past, because that's the first skin I used on PlayStation, and that's me now. I don't know, I thought it was cool. Just kind of have that. It's like that's something a lot of players would do back in the day. And it goes well with the pyramid. It's like in Egypt they make like statues of pharaohs and whatever. I'm like, I'm the one who does all this stuff in this world, so. What is this? It's just dirt? Is this coarse dirt? I think that's what this is. This is a big lake, big hill. Like I think this is an extreme hill. Under that, there's a big cave down there. Eventually leads to a what is it called? Ancient city? Yeah. That's pretty cool. I don't remember the bubbles going down making noises before. For all I know, that probably has made that noise forever. This was the first one of these types of underwater tunnels I made. I made it so I could go under the pyramid without swimming under it. Because the pyramid's hollow. Originally, I was like, I would love to make one of those gigantic brick pyramids from like, really, really early Minecraft. And this is the same size as one of those. But I made it out of cobblestone because I was like, well, I have tons of cobblestone. And then I made it have clear bits here, so it like, so light comes through it. And then I added some, I just hit my head on the wall. Then I added like these rings of water around lava here. Seven rings. I thought it was cool. Then there's a ring of lava here. Bunch of shadow here. But yeah, I was like, this is cool. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything else with this. I might not, I don't know. This is one of the first times like I made like 2 times speed or 4 times speed or 8 times speed videos of me making this. Am I finally hearing C418 music? Yes, I am. Okay. I was like, why do I rarely ever hear classic Minecraft music anymore? What a coincidence that it plays classic Minecraft music when I'm in my most classic Minecraft inspired base. That's pretty. But if I was not in this graphics mode, it would be a lot more like obviously that I'm underwater. Maybe it's just my graphics settings, I don't know. I wish I could, I wish Bedrock Edition had the ability to go back versions, because I'd love to go back to, like, obviously because it's Bedrock Edition, you're going back into, like, Pocket. And I would love to play Pocket Edition, like, early Pocket Edition again. Because that's what I grew up playing. I played Pocket Edition when it first came out, up until about, like, I played Minecraft Lite, then Pocket Edition, not long after, and then I played that up until 2016 is when it became Bedrock Edition proper, is when I stopped playing it. In between those, I did play Java a tiny bit on like my parents' Mac, and then I played PS3 edition. Yeah, that's for the years I did it. Didn't seem to go anywhere, so I don't know. Like, I don't really need a big community. I don't need to be popular. I just do it for fun. It's just something I enjoy doing. I don't make any money off this. If people come over and talk, I'm happy with that. I don't need to. Like, sure, would it be nice to make money off this? Maybe, yeah, but I don't need it. I don't need it right now. Okay, so let's go into the so-called evil villain lair. I'm still like, the one nice thing, I know it's kind of sad for me to talk about this with you, because obviously I don't think you can access editions anymore, but the nice thing about editions is it's just purely C418 music, because they didn't get past that point. I don't think it got the Nether update. So that is just very classic Minecrafty. It would be cool to have a community, yes. So this is the so-called evil villain lair. I don't call it that. But the person, but Brayden, who I toured this with, called it that. Basically, it's super unassuming. You don't see anything. You just see doors, and then you go through. You see this. I thought it was cool. Well, you can listen to all his stuff on his YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel. He doesn't really upload anything on it anymore, but he has his own tracks, plus his Minecraft tracks and other stuff. A few months ago, I remember like getting like a copyright claim or whatever. It didn't take down the video or anything. It was just like, the funny thing about that, it's like, oh yeah, they get to share the revenue, which is probably the majority of it. I'm like, I don't even make money off these videos, so it doesn't even matter. It's like, sure, make money off the video. I don't care. It's not like I'm making money off of it. It's a hot tub. Because at least I was first introduced to Minecraft. Yeah, that is the aesthetic I was going for. Mostly because my building style isn't much further beyond that. But I first learned about Minecraft, like most people probably my age, through like Tobuscus or well, Sky does Minecraft. A lot of those guys are very much not around anymore because of things they did, but I watched a bit of other guys related to those guys, but one I loved watching a lot, which he doesn't make Minecraft videos anymore, was Zach Scott Games with his Scotland series, which was like one of the first, like what you would call an SMP server, a survival multiplayer. Played it from 2011 to 2015, I believe. So Minecraft beta 1 point something to a few versions after 1.0. It was very fun to watch because it was very much of its time. As a kid, I probably shouldn't have been watching those videos because there was a lot of like dirty jokes, but it was very fun to watch. And the building aesthetic he used in a lot of his builds, which is a lot of popular aesthetics of the time, I was inspired by those to make this base. Just like the torches in the walls, the lava bits, stuff like that. Was present in his like welcome center or like it's a underwater or like underground tunnel system. So you have a battle arena over here, basketball court. The battle arena, this is carpet because I couldn't have red wool because of just the size. But you have some armor stands here. You have sand here. You have some lava lights up there. Some areas to stand up here. I think on my channel I have playlists for like my favorite videos ever, like 1 through 3. Playlist number 1, which is 5,000 videos long, is when I started making those playlists like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It was all the videos from before that point that I liked to watch a lot as a kid, and I added them to that. And the first one was one of the first Minecraft videos from Zach's Hot Games that I remember watching. One of my earliest YouTube memories. For whatever reason, the thumbnail doesn't load anymore. I don't know. Unfortunately, there's a lot, like, one weird thing. Here's the basketball court. I don't know why my reaction was so late. You have home and guest 0, 0. I would have signs on this if I could, but for whatever reason, placing things on transparent blocks works differently on Bedrock, so you can't do that, which is unfortunate. Because can I speak? Because of how this is with the fences instead of signs, you can't actually throw anything in there. It gets blocked by the fence. If there were signs there, you could actually go through that, but it doesn't work that way, so unfortunate, but it's still cool aesthetically, so I thought it would be cool to have. Originally with this base, I wanted there to be a second layer of this, like down these areas, which I haven't gone down yet, I guess. It goes down. I originally wanted it to branch off this way and loop around just like the top floor, but because there's that gigantic cave down there, I couldn't. That would be cool. Like, yeah, that would be neat. Another YouTuber that I was inspired by, that I loved to watch as a kid, was the 8-Bit Theater, which was a Minecraft 360 YouTube channel. They don't make, well, I think they probably still make videos today, but it's all mostly non-commentary videos, and their videos have be like browser games almost, like really cheap young children's games. And I'm like, I can't even tell if he's actually the one making the videos or not. A fireplace. But if you ever watch his Minecraft videos where he played with his son, they were very nice, and he had a big tree house. He had a battle arena that he made. I thought that was cool, so I was like, I was always inspired by that, but even today I'm still not as good of a builder as he was. So I thought that was cool, but yeah, I can probably turn off vibrant visuals now. I pretty much turned off everything. So let's do that. Don't crash, please. Go to fancy. Yes. Very different. It looks very different with the normal graphics on. I don't know. The one nice thing about vibrant visuals is it does add that old school Minecraft shading back. For whatever reason, after beta version, like the game became a lot brighter. There was a lot less shadow. I kind of wish like the Bedrock fog still existed. That would be nice. But there was a lot. It became a lot brighter looking game after beta, which I didn't really. It was something I didn't notice initially, but when I noticed it, I was like, why did they do that? The game looked nicer to me before. Let's send you down there. I just thought it looked nicer with the older graphics. It wasn't just the textures. The textures were... People, like, hate on the old Minecraft textures now, but I'm like, they didn't look too bad. They're very much of their time. But yeah, it's like, I really... But it was just a darker looking game, and I liked that. It had that more mysterious, dangerous feel. There's a reason that the game had like urban legends appear out of nowhere. It had a more creepy atmosphere back then. Now it doesn't. So that's where the mushroom fields are. That's where I got the stuff I needed for the ocean monument build. And mycelium and stuff. So I'm going to go back to the end now. Should I grab more things? I don't know if I should. Yeah. Like, it's a much... That's the nice thing about visuals. Would I play with it all the time if my system could handle it? Which it can anyway. It's not like it can't. It's just like... I don't know. I like that Minecraft's one of the only few games that doesn't make my PlayStation run like crazy. It's a very nice, simple game, even with all the stuff in it. Yeah, there's the Desert Badlands and the Nether Fortress. This is N Fortress. And funny enough, there's another Nether Fortress as well over there. This is 2 Stronghold. But yeah, here's some other areas. Oh yeah, this area over here is where I would harvest my sponge. Like I would place it down so it heats up. Because one nice thing, if you didn't know this, not a lot of players probably don't use sponges, so they might not know this. But basically, when you use a sponge, it becomes a wet sponge. To make it not a wet sponge and a regular sponge again, you either have to cook it in a furnace, which takes a lot of time, or you can do the simple thing and go to the end and place it down, and it instantly evaporates and becomes a regular sponge. So that just shows how hot the Nether is, which I like. You could guess that because everything's on fire and whatever, but it's like you don't really feel that. But that makes you feel that how hot it really is if the sponge instantly evaporates. Also, you can't place water, I guess, because it evaporates too. So that's another thing that indicates. Oh yeah, it's super hot in here. But yeah, it's just neat. Like, I think it's cool. I've been playing Minecraft on my PlayStation 4 for how many years? Before it became Bedrock Edition, 2018. Late 2018. So when was that? 7 years ago? Probably? Close to 7 years ago? It's crazy how long it's been. You know, and as a whole, I've probably been playing Minecraft for... I've known about Minecraft since pretty much everybody's known about it. Everybody who's old enough to remember the early days of it. Probably 2010, 11 at the earliest. And I probably played it either later in 2011-ish or early 2012. Something like that. Why are you in the well? But yeah, so there's a village here. There's actually a mangrove, I think, around here somewhere. I believe. For whatever reason, I keep coming across jungle biomes. I'm not complaining, I love jungle biomes, I do. Probably my favorite biome aesthetically, but at the same time, it's like, I don't find a lot of... Like, I keep coming across jungle biomes. I remember when jungles were like a super special thing, but like, at the same time, like when jungles were first added, you had a decent chance when you created a world to spawn in a jungle. Like that happened. Like one of the first times I played on like my parents' Mac, I think I made a world in Java Edition, and yeah, there's fireflies here, firefly bushes. For whatever reason, I swear I did this before this was added to the game, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's weird. I only noticed these the other day. I'm like, were those always there? Oh yeah, there's the mangrove trees. That's not where I got my mangrove trees though. I got them from trading with a wandering trader. Yeah, so I go back here, and I go here. I have a bed here. Oh, speaking of which, I just realized I'm not going to spawn back at my normal base, aren't I? I'm going to spawn back at the secondary base, I think, or the underwater base. Okay. So let's go back in. And let's start working on this base again. And actually do what the video says I'm going to do. So I'm going to place these blocks. And then maybe start working on lighting up this area and building up, like towering up and placing the torches in those dark areas, like right there. So let's go over here. Yeah, it's like before this, like my other world, I did touch the end a little bit. Like I made a tiny little base, but it wasn't very optimal for something like this. Like the terrain was a lot of craters and stuff. It was a very strange end island. Where this is more like standard one. It's very flat, prime for building stuff. I don't know, the other one I had was weird. So what to do with this? The thing is, I don't have, like, this may look like a lot of blocks, but in reality it isn't. So I don't really know what I want to do. Let's do this. I hope because I'm streaming I'm not gonna like mess something up, because I'm distracted or something. One funny thing is the Endermen just constantly fall off. You gonna do it as I say it? Are you? They just constantly just walk off the edge. They aren't very smart. You going to do it? I'm not very worried about XP because I could easily make an Enderman farm probably after I'm done with this. I could just build out that way, and there we go. They just constantly do that. They do that all the time. Eventually I'll probably, like for future expansions, probably just use cobblestone from the generator, but, yeah, so, but I'm using endstone while I can, because I think it'll, like, sure, you're not going to see it after this, but after I'm done with what I want to do. And I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do. Like, I would love to make like a village or something down here. Like, remove the torches from outside the portal chamber room and hope for a zombie villager or two to spawn. And cure them and then just bring them into the end. Like, that would be cool. The only thing is just like, there's no such thing as end villagers, so it's not like it would look interesting or anything. And there wouldn't really be any point, it would just be interesting. So, I don't know. What else can I do? Like, this is the only area that's really, like, not sure how I feel about it. It's right here. This is very much not as, like, rounded off as, like, those other areas. I don't think anyone's here to listen to me talk anymore, but I'll continue to speak anyway for whoever watches this in the future. I just don't want to run out of blocks. I went to my local comic shop the other day. I'm finding some pretty decent stuff this year. Like, in the last few days, I went there and I found E-Hobby Sunstorm from Transformers. It was a recolor of the original G1 Starscream because they were reissuing them at that time, and they recolored it into Sunstorm, which was one of those. He was big in the comics at the time, I think, but because it happened in the early 2000s. Pretty much like a super early online exclusive figure from Japan. And he was based off of a background character from, I think, the first episode of the series. So pretty much a Seeker, which is what Starscream is, but orange and white. They really liked making Sunstorm figures in the 2000s, though for whatever reason they couldn't get any of them right except for the first one. There's always something off about the later ones. Like, they're either like yellow instead of orange. Like, he's supposed to be like a creamsicle like color, like orange and white. But a lot of the other ones are just like, oh, it's yellow and gold and red, or just completely wrong, or like black parts instead of white parts. It's bizarre. Like, for whatever reason, they just can't get Sunstorm right. And I'm surprised they haven't made a new one yet. They made Red Wing, which is kind of based on Sunstorm, but they didn't make a new Sunstorm yet. I don't know. Like, new Seeker mold got announced at Comic-Con this year, so I'm like, I can see them doing it then. It's just like, it wouldn't match any of my other ones. That, or they'll wait to he'll be like the last juice of the siege mold. This is something I did during my live streams in the past. I would talk about just random things like this, like, because I collect stuff, so I talk about collector-related topics, or like stuff I've found recently, stuff I bought recently, stuff like that. Like every few months I post like a photo of some of the stuff I've gotten, like the stuff I've gotten recently in the last like 3 months or so. So like, what was my last post related to that? Like, what was my last haul photo? Which is what I call those. Usually a haul is like, oh, this is all the stuff I got. What was it? Oh yeah. It was a bunch of stuff from like 3 or 4 months worth of stuff. So it was G2 Dead End, which Legacy G2 Dead End, which is a figure at my local comic shop that I wanted to get that they had for like $18 or something last year, and I kept putting it off. And then I went there at the very beginning of this year to get it, and then it was gone. So it's like, dang it! It was there for months, and like I just kept putting it off too long. But I found it at a collectible store I like to go to, in one of the neighboring cities. And they had him for not a great price. It was like 40 something bucks. And I was like, geez, but it's not like he's that much less. Like, he's about that on eBay too, maybe a little more. So I was like, I guess I'll do it. I did see him in stores like once or twice, but I didn't buy him during those times because like, I don't know if I want him or not, but I do like him. And I had Shadow Strip, which is G2 Drag Strip. I got him at Ross when those were available. Okay, so let's just continue the listings. Oh yeah, Studio Series Bumblebee, I got him at a Walmart earlier this year on clearance for like $4 or $5. For whatever reason, all my Walmarts don't have really anything unless it's an exclusive anymore. They just stopped carrying regular Transformers stuff. Halo 3 Blue Hayabusa Spartan. His hand broke, unfortunately, so I had to glue one of them back on. But, and he kind of smelled weird, but he's still cool. Jurassic Park 2011 Mercenary prototype. Basically, the context behind that, in 2011, the G.I. Joe team of Hasbro pitched a new Jurassic Park line that mixed G.I. Joe and Jurassic Park, like G.I. Joe aesthetics with Jurassic Park. It got pretty far in production, like they commissioned like third-party people, like third-party sculptors or whatever, like freelancers to make new dinosaur molds, and they made new vehicles and stuff, but they never came out. Tons of this one particular figure from that canceled line were produced and ended up on like eBay. They were available for years for dirt cheap from China. Eventually, though, they disappeared. I remember seeing them for cheap, though, back in the day in like they were available for like 3 or 4 years, but I think like they disappeared probably around 2016, I would guess. But I finally got one of those. Kind of floppy in the legs, but they're not really that dirt cheap anymore. But I did find one for an okay price, so I got it. I kept putting it off because I was just like, it's a cool figure. It's my first ever prototype, so I'm like, that's kind of neat. But I'm like, it's not as cool as like an unreleased dinosaur or something. Some of the assets from that canceled line made it into the Jurassic Park 3D toy line 2 years later. That's where the Pachyrhinosaurus and Allosaurus came from. I own both of those. I've owned both of those since I was a kid. But unfortunately, my Allosaurus, they're both missing their dino damage pieces. Both the human figures from those sets are missing. And my Allosaurus has like, he's missing a toe. Don't know how that happened, and the end of his tail is also missing. Like it was like bitten off somehow. I don't know, maybe a dog, maybe one of my dogs did it. I don't remember. But I still have them, so that's nice. I plan on getting one eventually, but geez, are those expensive. They're super popular. Like you can, like, people buy those Allosauruses, just the Allosaurus, no human figure. Sometimes maybe with the dino damage piece for like $130. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm still beating myself up for one day seeing one of those and a bunch of other stuff that I didn't care about for cheap, and I was like, well, I don't know what I'd do with that other stuff. I'm like, what was I thinking? I could have just donated it to Goodwill. Like, it was like a Jurassic World stuff and what's that? Imaginext, maybe? Jurassic World stuff? What's some other stuff I got? Yeah, I got the Paradynamicus Jurassic Park Chaos Effect. I've been wanting to get one of those for years. Since I've had the Velociraptor X, its counterpart figure, for a few years now. And a few other Chaos Effect items. General Weir, which is one of the Storm Commandos from Star Wars Legends. I got him at that collectible store like a month or two before Dead End. The new retro Transformers Gears, I thought he looked cool, so I got him. with my mom one day. Transformers Universe Skywarp. I've always liked the Jetstorm mold from Beast Machines, but never. But I was only like, I'd only rather. I'd like to get the Skywarp or the G-Axis, and I still might want to get the G-Axis, but I got that. It's kind of broken, like the hinge that keeps them together, but with friction in robot mode, he can stay together. I didn't really know that though when I bought it, but I did get it for cheap, so with missiles and stuff, so I'm not complaining that much. Timeline's Lio Convoy from Beast Wars Uprising. Only got him for $50. Complete, no card, but gun and axe. Pretty cool. I like him for the price I got him for, but if I paid like 60, 70, which is what he normally is worth, I'm like, nope, I would not want him then. I would not. I waited a long time to get him, because even though I like him a lot, and he was one of the last few Fun Pub figures I'd like. If for people who don't know, Fun Publications was the company that ran the Transformers official convention BotCon for many years. They released exclusive toys for the convention and as part of their subscription service and stuff like that. And Lio Convoy, which is the Maximal leader. Maximals are the good guys from the Beast Wars TV shows. Basically, they're like Autobots from the future who transform into animals most of the time. Though it's not like they can't be cars or jets and other stuff. So they can't have. This is what I was worried about because I don't have any blocks now. I guess I'll go over to the other area. But anyway, but yeah, he was like, for the membership every year, they would give you a figure with your membership, and he was the figure with membership he was the figure with membership for 2015. And I think he's really cool. Haven't seen a lot of BotCon stuff this year. Haven't seen that much. I haven't seen any like I've seen some new ones, or like I've seen some, but like no new ones. I've just seen ones I've seen before from Fun Publications. I have actually, like very recently, I went and visited a family up north, and I went to a comic shop over there. Yeah, what am I doing? I don't have blocks. Okay, let's just go randomly mine some not cobblestone. Some endstone over here. I went to a comic shop over there. It was super expensive stuff. Like there was nothing there that they had that I was like, oh yeah, I'd buy that right now, even though I had a good budget. But like that I could afford anyway. There was cool stuff, and two BotCon things that they had. The only BotCon stuff they had was from Fun Publications' predecessor, 3H Productions, who ran the convention from, well, as 3H. Is it 3H Productions or 3H Enterprises initially? I don't remember. I think it was Enterprises later. Basically, they ran the convention in some form from the original 1994 to 2004. It was known as BotCon from 94 to 2002, and then from 2003 and 2004 it was known as OTFCC, the official Transformers Collectors Convention or Collectors Club. Because there was three guys that ran it. Two brothers and their friend or something, business partner. The two brothers who coined the name BotCon left after 2002 for whatever reason, I don't remember, disagreements with the other guy and stuff. And the other guy kept going. So, but because they came up with the name BotCon, they didn't use the name for the last 2 years that they had the convention. It's ironic because, like, in 2002, they finally gained, like, the proper license to be, like, the official Transformers, like, fan club or whatever, which was funny. Because it's like, oh yeah, the final year that they're known as BotCon is the year you finally get the most recognition you had up to that point. Sure, they had exclusive figures from Hasbro before that, but like made for them. It started out as like, oh, do you want this XS G2 breakdown we produced? Do you want that? That's how it started, and then they initially, like, as time progressed, they got more unique stuff. But it is kind of funny that, like, oh yeah, the 2002 was the only time it was known as BotCon under their leadership, where they had that license, like, proper, which is kind of funny. And sad, but kind of funny. They lost the license by 2004 because of production delays and other things. The final figure they produced was a figure called Sentinel Maximus, which was a repaint, remold of Armada Overload. Transformers Armada. He had a new head. He was the second BotCon toy or OTFCC toy to have a new head. The first ones before that were from the previous year with Roulette and Shadow Striker. They had, I don't know if they had two new heads or just one new type of head that they both shared, I don't remember. But those were the first ones to have new heads entirely, instead of just pure repaints. Sentinel Maximus was the other one, and that was the only other one they did with a new head. FunPub would roll with that, and a good, like, 25-30% of the figures they sold at the conventions had new heads. Most of the ones I own have new heads from the retail figures, which is cool. But yeah, but I saw, he was there, actually. Sentinel Maximus was at that comic shop. They had him for, in box, for like $500 something. And I was just like, nope. No thank you. He's a gigantic brick. I liked the history behind him because he was the final toy. And in fact, he was one of the reasons they lost the license, because they took so long to release him and produce him. Like, there was tons of production delays with that particular figure. Like, he was supposed to be present at OTFCC 2004, but he couldn't make it there, so they shipped him out later. But because they'd already lost the license by the end of that, they did ship out the ones that were produced, but Hasbro did it themselves, not OTFCC. So they gave them those figures a brand new box, because I don't know if a box that was meant for him was designed yet by the time the convention took place. So he didn't have the box he originally was going to have, even though I don't even know if we know what that looked like. So they put him in a new box, and Hasbro sent them out to the people who registered to buy him ahead of time. But the thing is, that mailing list was out of date, so a lot of the time it was shipped to like let's say you moved between when that shipping list was made and when they shipped them out, it got shipped to your old house. Or it got lost in the mail and other stuff like that. So it was a big mess. So it has a very, very interesting history, that particular figure. I think he's cool, but I would only pay like maximum maybe $200 for it. But that's like $500, which is what they had him for, like $550 or something. Apparently isn't that bad for that. Like I see them on eBay for like $800 and I'm like, are you insane? The other 3H BotCon toy they had, because they had two, they had Transmetal Tigatron from BotCon 2001, I believe. He was a recolor of X9 Ravage from Transformers Beast Wars Metals, which was the Takara, which is the company that owns Transformers in Japan. The Takara version of the Beast Wars line of like the Transmetals, which were like the later half of the show. Later half of the toy line. But he was a recolor of X9 Ravage, which was like, the Metals line didn't last very long in Japan. Apparently they didn't sell too well, they didn't get a very good distribution. But in the period of time where those were available on shelves, they did make one completely brand new figure. And that was, well, I guess you could say the completely brand new figure, was X9 Ravage. He was a retool of Transmetal Cheetor. But they gave him, like, he transformed differently. So he had, like, new arms, new weapons, transformed a little bit differently. And then that toy never got released in the US. Okay, yeah, my brother just came out to grab a ice cream sandwich from the freezer. And a drink. So, to make up for that, one thing that this is like what started this tradition. 3H decided, hey, let's recolor this toy that didn't get a US release, so it can kind of get a US release. So they recolored that figure to make Transmetal Tigatron, which Tigatron was a Siberian tiger, the white and black tigers. And so they recolored Ravage, who was like a black panther, and they recolored him in white and like ice, like an icy blue. That figure is worth a ton. Tigatron, not Ravage. The Ravage is worth a good amount, but you can find him for probably like 100-ish at the cheapest. Sometimes he's like 200, but that's nothing in comparison to what Tigatron's worth. He's like you can find him on eBay for like 1,000, which is ridiculous. And they had him at that comic shop for 800. And I'm just like, it's cool to see it, but it's never something I would buy. Personally, there was a period of time I think where actually that the BotCon version was a little cheaper than the original Ravage, even though it's not like you couldn't still get Ravage in the US. You could import it if you wanted, even though this was still like what, 2001, so the internet was still very much in its infancy. eBay had only been around for a few years. But also at BotCon they would have a dealer room where people would sell their stuff, sell like Transformers figures and stuff. And BotCon was always a great place to find rare stuff like that. So it's not like if you went to BotCon yourself, you probably could have found one of those Ravages. Like you likely could have found one without having to buy it online or anything. But it's just interesting. Okay, so let's after I place these blocks, I think I'll start working on lighting this place up a bit, because I want to get something done during this. I'll probably talk about more subjects that barely anyone's gonna know about. This is what autism is, guys. You talk about random things that you don't care about what other people think about it. You're just gonna act like they know what you're talking about. Ask my dad, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like, I remember, like, when in high school, when I looked into, like, more things about autism, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense now why I do the things I do sometimes. Like, hyperfixation on things and other stuff like that. It's just like, this makes so much sense. I thought that was funny. Because I was like, I didn't realize that's why I did this. I just thought I did that because that's just how I was. And it's like, it's not like that's not untrue. It was just funny to realize, oh, everybody that's like me does this. Or not everybody, but a lot of people that are like me behave the way I do, which is kind of funny. I just found that amusing. One thing that there was this guy in high school that was like that I was in art class with. That was like, he has to, like, in retrospect, like, he had to be autistic. Because he was a big Transformers fan too. And he sat at this table with these girls. One of them I knew from a previous school. And he brought up Transformers a lot. He watched Transformers Prime in class on his phone, which was just like, okay, nice taste in TV show, but at the same time, like, you should probably work on your art. One of the art projects we did, he based off Transformers. I don't even know what his name was. He sat at the other table. I sat by myself most of the time because that's just how I work. But I was like, so I was always wondering, like, does he know these people well? Or does he just choose to sit with them and they put up with him? Because I'm like, he's cool. Like, I think it's neat. One funny thing was, I'm reminded of this because on this, recently with YouTube, they added like a proper community function. So like, bigger YouTubers can have like, not bigger, I think I could technically turn that on if I wanted to. I could have people post their own things in my community tab. And I saw recently in one other community tab that I'm semi-active in, somebody posted that, oh, my school banned phones, so what Transformer from my collection am I going to bring to school today? And I was just like, I didn't say anything about it, but it reminded me so much of like that guy, because he brought Transformers to school on top of talking about it all the time. And I was just like, I'm just like, I would never, like, sure, I talked about Transformers to the people I kind of liked at the school too, a little bit, to a small degree in comparison to what he did. But I'm like, I never brought like Combiner Wars Superion, which is what he did, to school. Or like Siege Megatron, or what other figures he brought with him. I'm like, I never did that. Because I just knew that was not a good thing to do. If I ever had a figure at school, which I never did ever. Not since I was like 7 or 8 though. I only brought it for like show and tell. I never brought it to like school normally. It's like, I remember, like, oh yeah, Armado Demolisher was another one he brought over. But I just thought it was funny. I'm just like, okay. I thought it was neat, but I never talked to him about anything. One of the girls that I talked about, like, I knew who she was from my previous school. I never said anything to her because I was like, I don't know if she realizes that I'm someone she's met before, but it was, before I went to the high school, I was at a smaller school. I hated it there. It was like a small religious school that I was like, why am I even here? I'm borderline atheist. it was more just like it was right across from where the school I was in before, and my mom didn't want to rush me into high school, which I'm just like, it's not like I didn't do poorly there. I did pretty good there. But she was worried about that. So for like 2 years, even though I didn't want to be there like past like the first week, do I want to bring this? Do I even have? Do I have iron? Yeah, I have iron blocks and stuff. So I'll just make a new iron pickaxe. But in this school, it was like, it was really small because it was like partially from the previous school I was at, like it's run by different people because they like bought the other half of the building. So most of their area was like in like trailers and stuff, which is weird. I never liked the people that ran that place. They just came off as fake to me and weird. But anyway, the person I'm talking about, along with two other of her friends, the trailer like walls were kind of like corkboard almost, so like you could put like thumbtacks in them and put like pictures with the thumbtacks into the wall. What they did was they took pictures from like anime and posted them on the wall. And we call and people like not associated with them called it the anime wall. I just thought it was hilarious. And she was like the leader of that like trio of girls who did that. Another weird thing she did, which was really bizarre, I don't remember her name, it's been so long. Not that I really cared that much. Basically, I think there was one day where she talked about this guy she liked, and I'm pretty sure, I think she even memorized his license plate. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You shouldn't be doing that. It was weird. But yeah, I was so tempted in high school to be like, I know what you did. But I never did that. I never brought it up. I was just like, oh, that's funny. It's that person. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, this is just the type of stuff I just talk about during these things. I just talk about random things. Think of a topic, bring it up. The one thing that I didn't really like when I did streams is a lot of the times I just circle back to the same things over and over and over again. I was just like, why am I doing this? It's like right now, there's probably no one here listening to me. But it's just like, it's just, I talk for the sake of talking. I don't need to. I just do. Because it's better than nothing going on. Oops. One interesting thing about the end is the music's like distorted overworld music. And because the end hasn't gotten an update in forever, it's only distorted versions of C418 music, which is kind of neat. And with this kind of music choices, like I think it does make sense to try to like terraform it into a new overworld. What do I want to do? I have all these blocks. I need to use them for something. I don't know. I might not even use these. I don't know. What about over here? What's my percentage? 20%. Plug that in. I think let's go make torches now. I probably should have brought back that coal like I was thinking about before. If I never do a dragon fight again, I might maybe even consider... That would take forever, though. Imagine if I, like, emptied out one of these pillars and made it into the spiral staircase I was talking about. That would be cool, but that would take so long. Like, I don't even use, like, I don't have any enchantments on any of my items. I don't stay alive long enough to keep that anymore. Like, I'm not worried about XP, as I think I was talking about before, because I'll just make an Enderman farm, and I'll have pretty much unlimited at that point. Oh yeah, one funny thing about this bottom platform. Like, sure, I haven't updated the maps up here. I have these fences here, by the way, or these trapdoors. So whenever I put animals up here, I can lock those so they can't leave this upper layer. You can see there's the area here. I haven't updated the map so you can't see the lower platform, but at the same time you wouldn't be able to anyway. For whatever reason, the map doesn't pick up that particular layer. If I place something on top of it, it will see it. But it can't see that itself, which I find interesting. It doesn't pick that up. It's too low. I don't know why. You think it's like, oh, the map sees whatever the light, like from a top-down perspective, but it doesn't see that for whatever reason. Like, if I place like a block of dirt down there, it will see that block of dirt, but it's not going to see all of that end stone. Because it's a layer below what it can see. I find that interesting. So let's see. Should I break some of these trees? Eventually I'll replace, like, you can see where Endermen have picked things up. I'm thinking about building like a house back over here. Because like there's a lot of space back here. So I could build like a house right here. And then like right where this tree is, like right here, is where I'd put the spiral staircase and an entrance to like the underneath of the island, which is where like majority of the base would probably be, like inside the island. But yeah, it's just cool. So let's break some of these trees. Did I? No, it's over there. Okay. Can I get a sapling, please? Yeah, another fandom I'm kind of a part of is, or at least was, anyway, I don't know, was the Plants vs. Zombies fandom. I love playing those games. Made some Garden Warfare videos a few years ago. I don't know how well they did, but I had fun with them. Okay, I didn't get a single sapling from that tree. I guess I'll break this one. But recently, for the 16th anniversary, weird number, They announced Replanted, which is a re-release, like a upscale of the original game, which I'm just like, I don't know why you needed to do that. And I would not be surprised, knowing modern PopCap, that they mishandled this. Like, is it AI upscaled? I know they didn't get any of the original artists back to work on it. They didn't even tell them about it. Which I just find ridiculous. For whatever reason, just AI has been ridiculous for the last like year or two. Like, before like a year or two ago, I didn't really hear about it much at all. And now it's just everywhere. I see AI generated commercials, I see AI generated art everywhere. It's just ridiculous. I'm like, no one puts effort into anything anymore. Like, sure, I don't put a ton of effort into these videos either, but it's like, at least I'm doing it myself. Like, I don't know. It's just stupid. Let's see, what time is it? I think I'll end the stream in 45 minutes, maybe. I don't know. Any interesting videos get uploaded today? Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the rest of the stuff I got in that whole photo. I just continued to talk about BotCon after I brought up Lio Convoy. So Lio Convoy was one of the final BotCon figures that I was like, oh, I definitely want to get that. Because I was like, I don't have anything from Beast Wars Uprising, even though I've seen Depth Charge from BotCon 2013 1,000 times. Like, my local comic shop has 2 carded ones. Sure, those are the only 2 I've seen, like, in person, but it's like, I see videos of him all the time. I see him for sale on the internet all the time. He's very common, it seems. Should I make a treehouse? That'd be kind of cool if I could, like, analyze Abatheater's treehouse and recreate it. That'd be cool. I just don't know how I would do that. I don't know. Maybe I would think about doing that. It's just, do I want to copy someone else's thing? Like, inspired, sure, but copy, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. But one of the other ones that I would love to get at some point would be the Shattered Glass Junkion Scrap Iron, I believe, from BotCon 2012. He was one of the first ones, like, when I became aware of them, he was one of the first ones I saw for sale on, like, Mercari or whatever. I saw one just by himself for, like, 50-something bucks years ago. I was like, oh, I'd love to get him. He looks cool. I never did, and now it's like, rarely ever see them by themselves for sale, because he came in a set of 3 Shattered Glass Junkions. They're all the same, except the head's different. And I'm like, the Scrap Iron's one is the best looking to me. It fit that color scheme the best. Which is, they were like Insecticon colored, so like purple, black, yellow. I was like, oh, I'd love to get that, because it's cool to get figures that are based on, like, oh, the concepts that Fun Publications thought of, which was Shattered Glass and Beast Wars Uprising. And I don't have a Fun Pub Shattered Glass toy yet. So I'd love to get him. One weird thing, my local comic shop has a Shattered Glass Junkion. At least that's what you would think at first. It's made up of Shattered Glass Junkion parts, but it has the head of Generations... what's his name? Is it Junk Heap, I believe? And then it has the arms of Generations, or reveal the shield Wreck-Gar, and then the rest of it is a shattered glass Junkion of some sort, and then like part of the foot is from like the windshield part of the motorcycle is from Wreck-Gar or Junkheap, which is just weird to me. It's a weird Frankenstein. Like, I get it, that's kind of what the Junkions do, but why would you mix one of the more expensive figures with the like widely available ones? It doesn't make any sense. And they've had it for like $50 at their comic shop for forever, and I'm just like, why would I don't like I inspected it just to see how weird it was, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not buying this. It's in bike mode, so you can barely even tell. It's just weird. If I had to get a 3H figure, because I'd love to get one of those, I would buy Cat Scan, which was a recolor of Beast Machine's Night Slash Shidor in black, or not black, in white and red, in like medical colors. He's one of the cheaper 3H figures. I've seen him for like $125. Like, oh, I'd buy him. Not too bad. And then for BotCon Japan, which was a thing during that era, I think they only did 2 unique figures, I believe, for BotCon Japan '98. It was Double Punch, which was a clear red and clear black, I believe, recolor of Beast Wars Scorponok, and Barbarian, which was a brown and yellow recolor of Beast Wars Polar Claw. The two like Voyager figures from like the first wave of the Beast Wars line. Double Punch was a completely new color scheme, where Barbarian was, oh, this is like based off his prototype colors. That's the funny thing with Beast Wars toys. Initially, like some of them were planned with very different color schemes, and then later on they got more what you would recognize them as. Like Tigatron was going to be a regular, like orange tiger, but then they turned him into a Siberian white tiger later. But I think his box art was still the orange tiger. Polar Claw was in the final toy was a polar bear, white and red. But his early prototypes were brown and yellow, like a grizzly bear. But it must have been a later change, because I don't think his box art was brown. So that's kind of interesting. I think Tarantulas was originally orange, like clear orange. He was like that in the commercials, was like that on the prototypes on the back of the box. I don't know if his art was like that, though. Okay, oh yeah, I have a lot of torches already, but let's make more. So, boop. Boop. Let's watch it burn. Let's go back to the list. MSIA. Goof and Desert Goof. MSIA, or Mobile Suit in Action, was a line of Mobile Suit Gundam action figures from the late 90s. It was started for the 35th anniversary, I believe, or 25th anniversary of Gundam, back in 1990, or was it just 20th? Probably just 20th anniversary. 20th anniversary of Gundam in 1999. They made those. And then it later came out in they released US versions of the toys in 2001 to 2005 at the latest. The Japanese versions had panel lining, which is like the panels of the mech would be like lined in black to bring out the detail more. The US versions did not have that, but the US toys did have extra markings added instead. And sometimes they would make unique color variants for the US line as well. Very few, but they did some of them. But I got on eBay a few months ago a lot of the Japanese variant of the Goof and the US desert colored Goof for about $45-ish for the two of them. They're a little dirty. They're not kept in the best conditions, but not a terrible price for those two. The Japanese original Goof is probably like 25-ish bucks. And the desert Goof can be like 50, 60, 70 plus. So I got a pretty good deal on the two of them for getting both of them together. So I'm not going to complain that much. That, like, my desert Goof's a little dirty. Kind of works for him because he's supposed to be in a desert. So it does kind of make sense. He's a little dirty. One funny thing was very recently on Mercari. I bought a new MSI figure, which will be in the next photo haul. And they I bought it, but they canceled it for me because they had the shipping wrong. But they reserved it for me and I bought it again. But the same day they brought it back, so I could get it again, they posted a bunch of new items, including, and one of them that they posted was a Desert Goof. They posted Desert Goof complete with everything for like 20 something, like 25, 30 bucks, 30-ish with shipping. And I was like, geez, I wish I could have bought that. Because I wanted it. Like, I mainly got that haul for that lot for the Desert Goof. This is like, geez, I wish I could have got this. But it's sold now, so I can't really get a second one, not that I really want a second one. I wouldn't mind having a second one. But I just thought it was funny. I'm like, oh, this would have been, what irony. I wish I was like, but obviously I'm not an oracle. I can't see into the future. I don't know. What are? Oh yeah, what's the guys from Dragon Ball Z that can see into the future? What's the planet? I forget. Those guys. If you've seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged, you know what I'm talking about. Hilarious the way that they did them in that. I'm not one of those guys. I can't see into the future, but at the same time I wouldn't want to be one of those guys because in that they were pretty dumb. You can see the future, but you did nothing to prevent it. Is it Planet Meat? I don't remember. I forget what they were called. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the last time I streamed, I'm pretty sure Toriyama was still alive. That's unfortunate. So yeah, I think he died last year. I last streamed in December of 23. But yeah, so I thought that was funny. Another thing they posted was a battle-scarred ground Gundam. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to get that, but the condition it was in was not great. Speaking of battle-scarred figures, that was one of the other MSI figures I got in that haul. I got a battle-scarred Zaku 1. I didn't have a Zaku 1 figure of any kind yet. For years I wanted to get one of the Robot Spirits ones, but the original Robot Spirits one is stupid expensive now because they haven't reissued it like ever, but they've repainted it. And I would have loved to have gotten the real type, like, or MSO5A, like early type version, but as they marketed it. But but I didn't get it at the time. Because I had recently bought a P-Bandai figure before that, and I usually, if I ever get one, I usually like, oh, I would only like to get one a year because they're expensive. And I was like, dang it, why did you have to come out now? It also came out with a bunch of other things, like, oh, they at the same time they put out like Thomas Kurt's Gelgu Cannon, and the, what was the name of the team? It's like the, yeah, Red Dolphin Squadron, Zaku Marine type. And I'm like, are you kidding me? These are all cool. Why did you have to post these after I got my Gelgu Jaeger? What was it, Doug Custom? I forget. Something like that. Like, it's a Gelgu Jaeger, which is normally like pink in normal-ish Gelgu colors. Not fully like the gray that Gelgu's normally are. It was like a borderline gray-green. Really cool, though. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting and annoying. But back to the Battlescarred Zaku one. So I finally got a Zaku one of some sort. I bought a Battlescarred Zaku one on eBay for not a terrible price, actually. Only like 30-ish, 33 maybe. Something like that. I got it with mostly complete. It didn't have the Zaku 1 machine gun, and it didn't have the Dop fighter or its extra hands, but those extra hands I don't think were really that useful anyway. They're like closed fists, and I'm like, well, I don't need those. It can't hold anything with those. So I got the ones I needed. But yeah, so that was my first Battlescarred figure. One funny thing I noticed when doing more research, Battlescarred figures are very weirdly documented on the internet, because it's like, they were some of the last MSA figures that came out in the US. There was part of the US version of the line, which also released in Canada and Europe and maybe Australia. The weird thing about them is they're not on the wiki at all. They're mentioned on the wiki, but they're not listed at all. And because of that, what's kind of funny is like if you like on wikis for mobile suits on like Fandom or whatever, they have sometimes they have merchandise listed for particular mobile suits if they have them, and they list for like the Zaku one like the other MSA versions of it, but they don't list the Battlescarred one. And the thing is, there's no Battlescarred figures listed on any wiki ever, because I'm guessing they take the pictures probably from the MSA wiki, and because the MSA wiki doesn't list the Battlescards for whatever reason, the other wikis don't list them either, which is bizarre. The only places you can find images of them are like forum posts or eBay. And I'm just like, why are these not documented well? That doesn't make any sense. Like the wiki says, like, mentions, oh yeah, and Battlescarred figures exist, but they don't go into further detail. It just brings it up in like the first, like the only sentence in the wiki that exists. It's like, oh yeah, this is the type of figures that exist, and it just doesn't bring up, it never showcases the latter one, the latter type it talks about. I find that weird. I find that super bizarre. Yeah, I should probably get some more charcoal. Time to break more trees. I feel like I'm going to be doing this a lot. But yeah, so I thought that was funny. But yeah, the Battlescarred figures are really cool because they're battle damage, as you would guess. So they have new parts in comparison to the original releases. And actually, most of the Battlescarred figures never came out in Japan. They were majority. Well, they were all US exclusive figures. It's just only some of them got Japanese repaints. Very few of them did, though. If they ever got released in Japan, they were slightly different from the US ones, and they were only in Versus 2-packs. So, like, the Battle-Scarred Gundam and Battle-Scarred Zeong would be in a 2-pack together in Japan. And they were slightly different from the US versions. Probably didn't have as many markings on them and stuff. Same with the Battle-Scarred GPO-1 FB and Battle-Scarred GPO-2. Those got a Japanese release, though they were slightly different from the US ones. And I believe maybe one of the G Gundam sets got that as well. Like 2 G Gundam figures also got a versus pack, I think, in Japan. But even though those are still a little different. But the vast majority of, like, they were, what's interesting about the Battle-Scarred figures, it's just like, well, it didn't seem like Bandai of Japan had much interest in releasing those. Which I find weird, because it's like, that means that they put that much budget into making, like, almost brand new figures. Or, like, heavy remolds of pre-existing figures for the US, like, the Western version of the line purposely. Like, it wasn't just repaints of stuff that they already made, which or were already making. So I just find that interesting. Why did I say making like that? Making! I don't know. But I just thought that was interesting. But anyway, like, in comparison to the regular Zaku one, the Battle-Scarred one has a different, well, the Zaku one's always had the option for 2 shoulder pads, even though most of the time you'd only see them on screen with 1. But the shoulder pad that it normally would have has a big, like, dent in it, like it's been shot by, like, a bazooka or something. The chest plate has, like, the torso has been retooled to have a hole near, like on the chest near that shoulder. And it's also been retooled to have, like, where the markings would be on the US releases is now, like, molded, so it's like molded lines that the paint goes into, which is kind of cool. Which makes it pretty obvious that, oh yeah, these were designed for the Western market version of the line, not the Japanese version. Because they didn't have, like, the red box on the torso on the Japanese Zaku one. So I thought that was interesting. Then the other shoulder that doesn't normally have a shoulder pad on it is also battle damaged. And then the skirt part of the mobile suit has, like, 3 bullet holes through one side of it. I think that's it. So out of all the Battle-Scarred figures, it's one of the lesser unique ones. Like, it's very similar to the original version. Like, it had a lot less new parts. Oh yeah, and the shield's different too. That has a lot of bullet holes and scars and stuff on it, which is really cool. So it has a new shoulder pad, a new torso, a new other shoulder, a new skirt piece, or like waist piece, and a new shield. Otherwise, it's just recolored parts in the original release. So I got that, which I really like. What other things? Dang it. Well, one thing I find annoying is, like, when I click on a video or whatever and then go back to my community tab, it, like, resets, so I have to scroll down again. Or, like, when I click to look at more of, like, the text on the community post and then click off of it to close it, it just resets my thing again, so I have to scroll down all over again. That's probably yeah, I got the desert version of the Dom as well, which is just a regular Dom in tan and brown from the US version of the line, like the Desert Goof is tan and brown instead of blue. instead of shades of blue. There's other things that I got, but I'm not going to mention them. What other trees can I chop down? Chop? I'm misspeaking a lot because I'm streaming, so I'm thinking about what I'm saying more than I normally would. I don't know, I just think that's funny. Let's chop these trees down again. One cool thing I learned about while doing research into the Battles card figures was there was two, basically initially they started out with Universal Century figures. The first wave, maybe the first two waves, included the Ground Gundam, the regular Gundam, the GPO-1, the GPO-2, and the Zeong, and the Zaku-1. All of those are main character suits, except for the Zaku-1. That's the really funny thing about that particular figure. From what I can tell, it is the only grunt that they ever made in the entire Battles card version of the line, which is just really weird. It's like that one-off figure. I'm like, did they plan on doing like one grunt per wave and then just didn't do any more? Because after that, they did a ton of G Gundam Battles card figures, and there's no particular grunt suits in that show. And they then did Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, and they did the 5 Gundams from that movie. It's like, sure, the Ground Gundam you could say is maybe a grunt suit, maybe, but it's like it's also the unit that was used by the main character at first as well, so you can see it as that too. But if you want to stretch it, you could say the Ground Gundam is the only other semi-grunt suit that they made in the entire line, which is just bizarre to me. Anyway, get back to topic. Back to the topic. So they made stuff from Universal Century, stuff from G Gundam, and stuff from Wing Endless Waltz. There was one other series they made stuff from, though, and you wouldn't know that if you didn't look into it. They made 2 figures from Gundam Seed, which were the Dual Gundam and the Astray Red Frame. Those were released extremely late into the line. So late, in fact, that they only got released in test markets. So they only got released in Europe. They're really cool. I do like them. I would love to own either of those someday. Because it's just so interesting. I always find it interesting when figures like get like test releases and then just get canceled because of either poor sales or other things going on. I'm guessing poor sales because MSA continued in Japan until 2008, I would say. But the line ended in the US by early 2000. The Western version of the line ended in like early 2005. Apparently the G Gundam figures, which they produced a ton of, didn't sell too well. So that could have killed the line in the West, unfortunately. It's not like G Gundam was an unpopular show. From what I can tell, it was decently popular. It's just they made too many of them and they don't appeal to the most people in the world. They probably would have done better if they made more other things. But what can you do? This was 20 years ago. But yeah, it's like I'd love to to get those someday, but ironically, when I discovered they existed, like a day or two after I discovered they existed, two of them, one of each, was posted on a lot, or in a lot on eBay from like the UK for auction. Like the starting auction was like $100, like starting bid, and it ended for like $500. And I was just like, did this actually sell for that much? These small little figures for $500? Loose too. They weren't carded or anything. It's like, I've seen MSA carded stuff can go for a ton, and even loose ones can go for quite a bit. Like the blue GOG can go for like $180, $100, $80 or 70 at the lowest. Generally, though you can find them cheaper always, but that's not very common. So I just thought that was interesting. Okay, my brother just left to go to his girlfriend's house. Oh. I'm gonna put the headset down because it's under the... You know, I can just move this. Is it tangled up? There we go. So yeah, but it ended for 500, and I was like, did anyone actually pay for this? But it was never reposted, so I'm like, did someone actually buy this for this much? I don't know. And I'm like, it would be cool to get both of those, but I would never pay $500 for those. Maybe $100 for a loose one maximum. For either one of them. Because those are, I don't really care much for Seed, but those are two designs from that I did like. It's kind of funny, they didn't even make the Strike Gundam. They didn't make a Battlescarred Strike Gundam. They went for two of them. I don't know, it's confusing. Are they enemy suits in that show? I know the Dual Gundam is the Astrea? I don't even know if the Astrea is even in that show. Like, it's confusing. I know the Murasame is, which is based on it. But is the Astrea actually in that show? From what I can tell in the wiki, it's like, it might be in like the intro, but it's never actually in the show itself, which is bizarre. It's from like a manga instead, and I'm just like, that's weird. If it's from a manga, that's like one of the only manga-specific suits. It gets a lot of merchandise, like tons of kits, figures, and stuff for it. It's a very popular merchandising mobile suit because it has a lot of recolor potential and other stuff like that. But it's just weird because MSA was not aligned to cover much manga stuff or MSV stuff. At most, I think it did like, oh, they made Thomas Kurt's Gelgu Cannon. They labeled it as a regular one, so they didn't make a regular MSA version of the gray Gelgu Cannon. They made an extended MSA, which were slightly bigger and had better articulation versions of the figures. They made a extended MSA Gelgu Cannon in gray, but they did not make a regular Gelgu Cannon in gray, even though it was one of the older figures. So they had that mold for years and never repurposed it. Which I thought was odd. What am I doing? Oh yeah. I find myself asking that question a lot. What am I doing? Anyway, and then they also did the high mobility Zakus. High mobility ones. They did the R1, the R1A, and the R2. Johnny Raiden's Zaku 2, high mobility type. They did the Black Tri-Stars. They did Shin Matsunaga's. They did all three of those twice. They did version 1s and version 2s. Then they did Gabby Hazard's and what's his name? Robert Gilliam's as version 1s. And then for version 2, special, those were like releases, hobby magazine exclusives. And then for version 2s, they recolored Johnny Rydens to make Elliot Rem's Zaku, so it was like in a rust red kind of color. And then in gray, I gave it a new gun, which I thought was cool because it's supposed to be the R2P, but they didn't modify the mold at all. They just gave it a new gun. So it should have had a bigger chest for the for like the bigger generator. Some other detail changes, but they didn't do that. But I think it's still cool. And then they recolored Shin Matsunaga's, I think, or no, it was the Black Tri-Stars one. And they gave it the commander head from the Shin Matsunaga release. And they repainted it brown and yellow to be Masaya Nakagawa's version, I think. So they did those, but because it was just a repaint Nakagawa's one, it doesn't have the distinctive commander fin that his has. His is like weirdly in the middle of the face instead of like near the end where like most commander type Zaku antennas are. So, but that's not reflected on the figure at all. So I found that weird. It's interesting. But that's really it they did for MSV. The only other like manga stuff I can think of is they did Advance of Zeta stuff. They did the Hazel Custom, the Hazel Custom Titans colors, and then before all three of those, and the Titans colored Hazel Custom was a hobby magazine or Dengeki hobby release. Unfortunately, it didn't have any of the markings like the original Hazel Custom release. The original Hazel Custom release had. It's just black blue, and weirdly the sensors are more of a blue color than green like the other ones. I found that odd. So it's not as detailed as it should be, but it still looks good. I made a video of GBO2 with the Hazel Custom in those colors recently. Only one person's seen it so far. It's been up for 2 days, but like I make some videos and I'm happy with how I made them, but they sometimes just don't do well, unfortunately. That's not really a surprise. Most of the time that happens, but for a little bit there, my videos were doing really well. Like 2 months ago, one of my Battlefront 2 videos that I made during the Resurgence got like 289 views, which is pretty good for my standards. So, which some people would see that as sad because I've been making videos for what, seven years, but on this channel anyway. I had channels before this, but they died after I made 1 or 2 videos on them because I kept forgetting the passwords. So they weren't good anyway. I was very young when I made those videos. So whatever. Let's make some bread. Let's put away some charcoal. So yeah, let's make a few more torches. Let's light more of this up. I at least want to light this stuff up all the way first before I turn this off. I want to get some work done on camera. I haven't even played any of the current situation battle in GBO2 today, like at all. I played a bunch of the last one. What was it called? Something Kilimanjaro. It's supposed to be like a recreation of the Kilimanjaro base fight in Zeta Gundam. It was on the Arctic base map. I played a lot of that. At the time I'm streaming this, I have yet to put all those clips together. I will eventually and release it as a video, but it's just I got the same units over and over and over again. Like I probably played the Nemo, the GM2, and the Marasai tons of times. What I wanted was to play the Marasai, which I played a bunch already, and the Barzam, which I pretty much never played before. Because I was like, oh, color theory, orange and blue, those go together. That would be neat to have as a thumbnail. So I guess I could still do that, but I like to have the mobile suits in my thumbnails have like full rounds in the video. I probably played that situation battle like over 60 times, it felt like. And keep in mind, that's a lot of time because each round is like 8 minutes. Not even factoring the wait time, though. At least for situation battles, everybody's playing those, so it's a lot easier to get rounds than those. I only got to play the Barzam once. One time. Out of the dozens of times I went into that game mode, I got the Barzam once. Each thing had a 10% chance to get because it was 10 mobile suits. 5 on each team. And they're all different. So I'm like, why did it take me so long? And I think I only got the DJ once too, maybe twice. I think I got it twice. So it's like, really? The one mobile suits that I've really never been able to play before. Not that I've had it for years, I just never use it. I've never used it. So I was like, I would have liked to have played the Barzam, but they didn't really want to give it to me, unfortunately. I got a okay clip during that round. It's probably like there was probably a black bar or something on the screen just now. It's because it just gave me a message saying, oh, your PlayStation, your DualShock 4 battery level is low. So that's nice. Anyway, it seems they've been gone for a while now. Pretty sure the stream's still on. I don't know why it would turn off. So, but I have no way to tell because no one's talking anymore. If I had a lava farm down here, I wouldn't need to use wood planks to fuel this. But because I don't, I have to. Oh well. Yeah, so that was annoying. RNG is not the I was gonna say best and greatest. Yeah, it's like Grest. What? What is wrong with me? Why am I mixing words together? It's been forever since I last streamed, so I guess it comes with the territory. Is that the right term to use? What else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I never finished talking about the stuff I found at the comic shop lately. One of the things obviously I talked about was I saw Sunstorm, the original eHobby Sunstorm. Another eHobby item they also got in was Magnificus, which was a repaint of Perceptor. And he came with a Microman guy, I believe. I forget what his name was. But he had like a humanoid buddy that he came with. Unlike Sunstorm, who was a completely new color scheme at toy form anyway, he was from the show. Magnificus is Perceptor in black, and that is actually the original Diaclone color scheme. Diaclone, for those who don't know, is Transformers was pretty much like a combination of multiple robot transforming toys from Japan. Like, it was made up of multiple different transforming robot lines, mostly from Takara, but some other ones from like Bandai and other stuff like that. Was he from Diaclone? No, he wasn't from Diaclone. He was from Microchange. Diaclone was where most of the car robots came from. So like Optimus Prime or Convoy, like Prowl, Sunstreaker, Sideswipe, Wheeljack, so on and so forth. The Autobot cars and Optimus Prime came from Diaclone. Microchange is where it was like household objects. So like that's where Soundwave is from. He transforms into a tape cassette player. That's where Perceptor is from. He turns into a microscope. Stuff like that. The original Microchange toy that became Perceptor was Microscope Robo or something like that, and it was black. So that was just the original toy color before it became a Transformers toy. So I thought that was cool. That was a cool thing to see, because that's not a bad G1 toy. I don't really care for the original G1 Seeker though, but original Perceptor, I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's not terrible. That's a still halfway decent toy. One didn't age as bad. Where did Megatron come from? I don't know if it was Microchange. For whatever reason, I feel like it was maybe from his own line. I forget, but he transformed into a Walther P-38. Did I say Walther or Walter? Because it should be Walter if I said that. And then there was like two other ones. There was Browning was eventually a Transformers character who was based off, well, Browning Browning pistol from that line. And then there were, I think it was a revolver as well. That never got a Transformer version. Like, anyway, so I thought that was pretty neat. And then something else they had, which is not e-hobby related, though they still had like Gade P, which was, I think that's his name, which was the Guardian robot. Dang it, why did I do that? I didn't realize what I was doing. I should have kept some of those logs. God dang it. Okay. Why did I do that? Anyway, it's Omega Supreme in blue and white. They've had that there for a year or so now at my local comic shop, and then they also have the cassette 3-pack from Transformers Kiss Players. I'm not going to go into that. Research that line at your own risk, I guess. But I'm not going to go into the history of that line. But it was like the set included, I think, Rosanna, which was a recolor of what's their names? Rewind and Eject. The Autobot cassettes. I think there's two more in the set, but I can't remember their names. And I can't even remember what they were at the top of my head. I'm guessing they were probably recolors of Laserbeak and Ravage would be my guess. I just don't remember their names. It's not Sundor, was it? Was that the Condor one? I don't remember. Then what was the cat? I forget. something like that. Anyway, so it's not like they've never had e-hobby toys before. I'd love to get an e-hobby figure at some point, but I don't know if I want to get any of the old ones. Like, I'd rather get some of their later ones, like but not Battle Convoy. The blue Classics Optimus Prime, the blue and black Classics Optimus Prime. I don't have a Classics Optimus Prime. I've always thought that was a cool toy, and that like last use of that mold is very pretty. It's based off of the inner robot for Delta Magnus, I believe is what he's now called. It's a Diaclone Battle Convoy or whatever. Ultra Magnus in blue and red and black, I think. And then there's also... It's not Deadshot, is it? What is Drift's Decepticon name? I forget. Drift Transformers. Is it Deadshot? What was his name? Because his original name was Drift, then he joined the Decepticons. Deadlock. Okay, there we go. Very similar. Because I'm like, Deadshot's the DC character. What the heck is his name? And I was like, I know it's similar to that. Deadlock. There we go. I wouldn't mind getting Deadlock, which is a repaint of Generations Drift in like black, purple, gold. It's very pretty. And then Convo Bat would be another one, which was a repaint of Titan's Return, Mind Wipe, and it had the head from Titan's Return Sentinel Prime, and it had the swords from Prime Wheeljack, of all things, I believe. And it was supposed to represent the original Bat Optimus Primal toy, which was like one of the first two Beast Wars toys. And also came with a headmaster for like the Gator Megatron, though they never gave it a proper body, unfortunately. That would be another one I would like to get someday. That's another e-hobby figure I wouldn't mind getting someday. Ultra Mammoth is not Ultra Mammoth. That's different. What's the Blue Mammoth? Big Blue Convoy? Blue Big Convoy? I don't... What is his name? I don't remember, but... That's another cool one, but I already have Nemesis Prime from Universe, which is a repaint of Big Convoy, so I'm like, I don't need that. Did I already run out of... Well, I still need to make more torches because I want to light up everything. What can I use to do that? Maybe I should... Let's find some cobblestone. Because I need blocks to pillar up. So I guess I'll just sit here with the trigger held down for a while. Yeah, I'll probably end this stream in a bit. Anything going on TFW? No. I'm just checking a bunch of things like Mercari and eBay right now. Anything? just hear a dog? That's ending, okay. One cool thing I heard about recently, just thought about that. Apparently Helldivers 2 is partnering with Halo to add ODST stuff to the game. That's pretty cool. I do think Helldivers 2 is a cool game, but I don't think it's available on PlayStation 4, unfortunately. Is it a game that I would buy a PS5 for? I don't know. But it looks cool. I like the designs of the characters from it. Like, I would buy an action figure of a Helldiver if they made one. I have a little part of my shelf that's for gaming stuff. So, like, I have some Halo figures on there, even though I haven't played Halo yet. I like the lore of Halo. I would love to play the Halo games at some point, but I don't have a way to do that right now. I just buy them because I'm like, oh, I like the lore of Halo. I like the designs, so I might as well get some stuff for them. Like, one Halo figure I got this year that I'm happy I finally tracked down was I got one of the McFarlane Series 2, I believe. Halo 3 ODSTs. Like an ODST from Halo 3, not an ODST from the game Halo 3 ODST. Very confusing. But yeah, I finally got one of those I got one of those earlier this year for like 50-ish bucks, which isn't too bad for a loose complete one. Those things are worth a ton. I don't know why. They're cool figures, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, really? But I thought that was cool. Oh yeah, but what other stuff do I have on there? I have some Skylanders on that shelf. It's a very small shelf. I have Imperial Shock Trooper from Star Wars Battlefront 2015 on there. I think it's just the Black Series figure, which I'm still like, why haven't they made a TVC one yet? They should. It's a repaint. It's the 10th anniversary of the game. Why not do it? I don't know. They haven't done it yet though, which I find to be unfortunate. Cause I would love to 3 3/4 one of those. Lego did it, Sideshow did it, Hot Toys I think did it, but 3 3/4 Star Wars has not done it yet, which I find bizarre. And then I don't think any of those companies really have done a Magma Trooper, which I'm just like, really? Why not? I haven't really played Battlefront 2 since the Resurgence. Like, I still have it downloaded. I just haven't played it. I love that game. I do. I played it since the beta came out, but it's like, even though I re-downloaded it around that time, just to see, like, how many people are actually playing this? A ton were playing that day. It's crazy. And I played it for like 2 weeks-ish after that, but haven't played it since. I have 3 Star Killers from Force Unleashed 1 and 2 on that shelf. I have a regular Star Killer from Force Unleashed 1. Lord Star Killer from the bad ending of Force Unleashed 1. It's like when he's on the operating table, not like him on Hoth in the DLC. They never made a figure of that, and well, I would say they never did, but they recently made a Hot Toys of that design, which I'm just like, that's so cool. Now, if only Hasbro would make one. But, okay. And then I have Force Unleashed 2 Starkiller in his basic outfit, not with the armor on, which was a re-release of the original TVC one from 2011, 12, with face printing technology. Like, well, that's a very funny figure because I remember never seeing him on store shelves until one day I went into a bookstore and the bookstore only had those, and they had 3 of them. 3 of the new re-release, well, it was like, he came out like 2 years ago now, but 3 of the re-release Starkiller. I couldn't find him anywhere else. I couldn't find him at a Target. I was about to say Toys R Us, my god. That hasn't been in business in the US in years. Well, not entirely true. There's one in that mall near, like outside New York City, but that's about it. And then they're in Canada. But yeah, I couldn't find one at Target, couldn't find one at Walmart, but I found one at a bookstore in the mall, of all places, and they had like 3 of them. I didn't buy one there. Because I was like, well, I could probably get him online. Then he sold out, like, don't know why I didn't see that coming. And then I found him at my local comic shop for only like a few bucks more, not too bad, like $3 more maybe. Not crazy. The funny thing is that they around that, like not long after, they got in the Black Series release, which was the re-release of that figure, which was I think slightly worse than the original TVC version, but it's the worst of the 3 releases of that mold, of that version of the figure apparently. And they got that in. That was always a figure I wanted to get because I'm like, oh, I love Force Unleashed 2. It's not an amazing game. It's not as good as the first one. But I played it as a kid a little bit. I had it on the Wii. I didn't really get that far though. I think I got into like the 2nd level and I could never get past the train sequence at the end of that 2nd level where like you get where there's like a gunship or whatever in front of you or something. It's just shooting the train. I could never get past that. 1, this was when I was like 6 years old, and 2, do you realize how finicky it is to play that game with a Wii remote and a nunchuck? It's painful. So I don't blame myself for not getting that far in that game. But yeah, so the interesting thing about that particular figure is its outfit is based off his outfit from the 2nd level, where he like steals Darth Vader's TIE fighter in the 1st level at the end, and then he shows up on Cato Nemoidia with like a Imperial-esque outfit, but in the cutscene he still has red lightsabers because he has red lightsabers at the beginning of the 1st level. And for whatever reason, the action figure has blue ones, which I'm just like, it makes sense. He's a good guy in this game, and he's a good guy anyway in the, like, well, kind of in the 1st game. He becomes a good guy for sure by the end of it. But I probably don't need this much. I'll get the last 4 though. There we go. Yeah, he's a good guy in that game. But he's a clone. For spoilers for a game that's what, 14-ish years old. Starkiller dies in the canonical, the game's not even canon anymore. Canonical ending of the 1st game. He dies. So in the 2nd game, he's a clone made by Darth Vader on Kamino. Starkiller, for those who somehow don't know, is is, or I guess was, Vader's secret apprentice. The funny thing is, he was created around the same time. Like, both The Force Unleashed and Star Wars The Clone Wars came out in, like, 2008, so... Funny enough, Anakin technically got 2 apprentices that year. Before that, he wasn't known to have any, which is kind of funny. And what's ironic about it is I don't even think the 2 teams knew about each other. Like, the people working on Clone Wars and the people working on The Force Unleashed, even though they were based in, like, neighboring buildings, did not know about each other. On, like, Skywalker Ranch or whatever, where Lucasfilm is. They did not know about each other. Which is funny. Another weird coincidence, if it is one, is besides giving Anakin Vader an apprentice, they also both have reverse grip. Like, that's how they hold their lightsabers. Ahsoka also held her lightsabers in reverse initially. So it's just interesting. Like, it makes sense because, like, well, they're taught by the same guy, so they would probably pretty similar. But at the same time, it's just like, what are the odds? Because I don't really know which team came up with that first. Was it the Force Unleashed team that thought, oh yeah, holding it backwards would be really cool? That makes sense, considering what that game's all about, that they probably came up with that first, and then, like, the Clone Wars guys were like, hey, let's have her do this. Like, obviously, I don't think the Force Unleashed guys knew about Clone Wars, because Clone Wars is a much more secretive project. But I'm like, did the Clone Wars guys know about them? I'm not sure. The weird thing about that is, did I seriously make planks again? Why did I do that? Is the weird thing about those 2 things is they share voice actors. So in the Force Unleashed 1, Princess Leia is voiced by the same person who plays Padme in Star Wars The Clone Wars. And I forget, I think somebody's also played by the guy who voices Yoda in that show. So I'm just like, you shared voice actors, but they didn't say, oh yeah, I'm working on this other Star Wars project. I just find that a little strange. Obviously, voice acting is like a thing usually brought in later in development, but it's just weird. I thought that was interesting. Interesting. I don't know. I feel like another reason like these streams don't do too well is they're unannounced. They just happen. I do them when I feel like it. I don't have a schedule or anything. There's barely anyone that would pay attention to my post anyway, even if I did announce ahead of time that I was going to do this. So, I don't know, I'm just a small-time YouTuber. I just do things for fun. I want to break one more tree. Anything going on? Oh yeah, one interesting thing that happened, I think yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? I don't remember. On IGN, they finally posted a like behind-the-scenes video on Jurassic Park Survivor, or Survival. I think it's Survival actually. Which is, I guess, a survival game set on Isla Nublar like a day or two after the first Jurassic Park movie. It was announced at like the Game Awards a few years ago. Like this cool trailer or whatever. And then they just went radio silent on the game for years. They just didn't talk about it. And for a while, like, a lot of us were like in the Jurassic Park community, because even though I haven't seen the new Jurassic Park movie yet, Jurassic World movie, because it just didn't look appealing to me. It was more of a monster movie than a Jurassic Park movie. Weird abominations and stuff like that. I'm just like, I don't really think I want to see this. I come here to watch dinosaurs, even though they're not the most realistic, up-to-date dinosaurs anymore. I still come to see dinosaurs. These are not dinosaurs that you're putting on screen. These are whatever they are. They don't even look like dinosaurs. Not really. So I was like, no, I don't really think I want to see it yet. I'll watch it on streaming whenever it goes on streaming. I haven't seen a lot of things recently, but it just doesn't appeal to me. I'm a lifelong Jurassic fan. I've loved the franchise since as long as I can remember, really. But it's like, what is this? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen anything on the movie. I just know what the creatures in the movie look like, and I'm just like, this is not what I would like to see. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that they talk about, you know, still most of the footage was still like, oh, the making of that trailer. But like there was some gameplay bits in there, stuff like that. I'm like, I just saw that like, was it yesterday morning, something like that, and I was just like, 2 days ago, I don't remember. In the morning, I was just like, really? We finally heard something about this game? They've been radio silent for the last, like, 3-4 years. I hope it comes out, even though I don't know if it's a game I'd like to play, but it'd be a game I'd like to watch. I'm like, it would be cool. I hope it comes out. I'd rather not have another cool video game I might be interested in get canceled. Looking at you, Transformers Reactivate. It's such a weird thing. Like, that happened earlier this year. The Transformers game that had been in development for, God, like 6-7 years, maybe even 8 years, was canceled after it moved developers and other stuff like that. It came out that supposedly this game was like kind of like a scam thing. Like, oh, the company only bought the license. Like, sure, they worked on it to a degree, but before it was moved to another thing. But they got the Transformers license just so it looked like they had a good track record, so that they could be bought by a bigger company or something like that. Like, I don't know, it was weird. That's from what I remember. Anyway, some stupid thing, but I forget what companies it went through, but it got figures made. They made 2 2-packs for it, Optimus and Soundwave, and Starscream and Bumblebee. And actually those molds have been in existence for years, apparently. They had like copyright dates for like 2018 on them, and they only came out like last year. like 2024, late 2023, something like that. Like they've been in existence for like 5 years already by the time they came out. So, and then like late last year they re-released that Bumblebee in a single pack, like a regular release for Studio Series, and you can still find them on shelves sometimes. And it's like, oh, here's this figure for a game that doesn't exist anymore. I just thought that was funny. I saw that Optimus and Soundwave pack at that collectible store I bring up this year. They also had the same Optimus but loose at the same time, so I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind getting that Optimus. I don't mind that Soundwave, but I do like the Optimus, even though I'm like, there's plenty of good Optimus Primes out there. I don't really need it. The only reason I'd want it is just because, oh hey, here's this thing from this canceled project. Usually they don't, like, it's like Chaos Effect, which I brought up before, which was like the first major Jurassic Park thing to bring up hybrids and stuff. Not that technically every dinosaur in a Jurassic Park movie is a hybrid, technically, because it's like, oh, we had to fill in the gaps with like frog DNA and other things like that. That's so not exactly 100% the same as they were originally. So they aren't like 100% accurate dinosaurs. Like that's always been a thing. But like true hybrids that are like very, very, very different to what you would imagine a dinosaur would be. Like technically those like first appeared I think in like the Topps Jurassic Park comics in the early 90s, and then Kenner made a toy line called Chaos Effect in 1998, which did like the first like true hybrids. Paradeinonychus, which I brought up earlier, was one of them. There was Parasaurolophus and Deinonychus mixed together, which is just really weird as a concept, and it was like neon yellow, and it's like highlighter yellow and like purple and black stripes. Really cool. There was other hybrid figures they did as well, but apparently those toys got made, though some of the figures were canceled, and like a whole spin-off line for it, which would have had like glow-in-the-dark figures, never came out. Night Hunter is what it was called. I have a figure that's based on one of those. Like it's a repaint of like, it was all repaints, no new figures in that line. The only, I think, Chaos Effect figure purely that was repainted in that spin-off line was the Ultimasaurus, which ironically the regular Ultimasaurus never came out, so that's kind of funny. So let's see here. I should probably grab some food. But anyway, apparently Chaos Effect was going to have a TV show, from what I've heard for the longest time. Like apparently it was going to have a TV show. I think there is a production like book out there that has like concept art and stuff in it. Not like a released book, like it's a production bible or whatever. Yeah, so apparently I was gonna have a TV show. One of the more interesting things, like in the 90s, it was a big thing for a popular movie or whatever to get like an animated series. And for whatever reason, Jurassic Park never got one until like Camp Cretaceous on Netflix, but that was like 5 years ago now, which is kind of weird that was that long ago at this point. But it's not like they didn't try. Like the first Jurassic Park had a TV show pitched, didn't go anywhere. The Lost World Jurassic Park had a TV show pitched, that didn't go anywhere either. It also had like hybrids in its concept as well. Like I forget, it was like a two-headed T-Rex or something, with something stupid and crazy. Not stupid, it's just ridiculous. It has a really funny name too, like it reminded me of like Armageddon or Doom or something in it. Like that, there was some like edgy name. And then after that ended, Jurassic Park Chaos Effect was gonna be a TV show, and I think out of all those three, I think it got the furthest. Obviously, the toys came out, but it was. I don't know if the toys were made because of the TV show being in production, or the TV show was based on the toys. I don't really remember. I don't really know. It could be either or, really. I'm guessing the toys came first, though, because they came out, but the show meant to market them didn't. Someone's at the door. Okay, my dad came home, so I'm not sure how much more I'm going to talk. I think I'm going to try to light up these areas, and then I'll turn the stream off. These guys never came back. Should probably make another pickaxe, because I feel like if I'm going to have to break down every pillar I make to do this, I'm not going to have... The only problem is, maybe I should try to get, before I do this, probably try to get a boat and try to get an Enderman to grab a grass block and kill the Enderman. So I can so I can get the grass block, because that is something I definitely need to do. Boat. When did they remove the shovel from the crafting recipe? When did they revert it back to the old one? I remember you needed... When they introduced these new boats, new in quotations, they changed it like a decade ago. When you needed the new boats, the improved boats, you needed a shovel initially. They introduced them, I think, in Pocket Edition first, along with the beetroot. I think this and the beetroot first came to Pocket Edition, and then they came to everything else later, which was pretty interesting. Give me a sword. So let's try that. Let's try to trap an Enderman in a boat after he grabs a grass block. The only place I know that will probably happen is over here, near the wheat, because there is a platform under that that's dark where they can spawn. So there should be none down there, but there should be some right there somewhere. Yeah, right here. But sometimes they also just teleport down from there, so I want them to teleport up. You teleport up here, please? And if you do, can you grab a block for me? That's the problem. They're just going to keep going down there, aren't they? This is going to take a while, I think. But I need to do this before... I need to do this before I get rid of these dark patches. So I can have grass spread down there. Come up. Come up here. I know you want to. Seeing all the blocks that have been taken from this area. The only problem is once they grab a block, they don't tend to stay around for that long. The annoying thing is they always place it somewhere else, but I don't always know where that is. I know one has placed it on one of these lower platforms. One of the lower platform over there has a grass block on it, but most of the time they just place it up here somewhere. It'd be really cool if they teleported up here, grabbed a grass block, teleported down there, and then teleported down there, like even further down, but they don't seem to do that. They usually grab a block, teleport, and place it. They don't grab a block, teleport, then place. So that's likely not going to happen. For a second I thought like that falling leaf was an Enderman walking around, but no. This is going to take a while. Like, sure, I could remove some of these torches to enable them to spawn up here, maybe? I don't know if I want to risk that, though, but it would definitely, they always go down. I don't know why. They sometimes go up, but most of the time they just go down. The thing is, even if one does come up here, I don't know if it's going to grab that. The odds are it will, because just like how many grass blocks there are. Not guaranteed. Anyway, I see this stream coming to an end soon, but hopefully I can accomplish this at least before that. If I remove these, can I have one spawn up here if I remove enough torches? On. on, do it. Why not? Come up here. They always go down. Always. They never come up. What if I just place it? The only problem is then it might catch one without a block, and I don't want that. How many blocks, grass block, torches must I remove? Maybe I should walk away, then come back. Maybe that will work. Give it enough time for all those guys to despawn. And then come back over there. Any? Yep. Come on, grab one. You know you want to. My only problem is, I feel like as soon as I do this, they don't act like those though, so they don't act like pigmen, so I don't think they'll all attack me, right? I don't know. This could be suicide, for all I know. Come on. Grab a block. Do it. They're everywhere. Come on. Grab a block. Why aren't they doing it? You know you want to. Do it. Are they all gone? Where'd they go? I think they all teleported down. It's time to go away and come back. The thing is, like, a lot of these torches... Grab a block. Why don't they grab blocks? Did that block just disappear? Are they grabbing blocks and teleporting so fast I don't even see them do it? That could be possible. Grab a block. This is going to take a while. For all I know, this might even work as just, they might... Grab a block. There's so many of you. My god, they are picking them up, but they're... I don't see them holding it. Where are they putting them? Is this not going to work? I don't even see them holding the block. They just disappear. I'm gonna look this up. That's not what I meant. Okay, so why can't I see them hold it? This isn't helping. I can't see the blocks they're grabbing. Are they teleporting down? Yeah, I think so. Oh, they did place one down there. They placed a block down there. That's good, okay. Now I just need to hope that they don't. Okay. So. So apparently they did place one down here, which means I should probably remove that dark area as quick as possible so they don't move it too much. That looks like a block. Yep. This is what I've been waiting for. Okay, which means now I have to build up. Don't you dare move it back. knew I should have made another pickaxe. Okay, I'll grab another one. I should probably light that area up a little bit. I think I'm gonna need to make more torches. Okay, I think I'm going to end the stream now, pretty much. I've largely removed all the dark areas. I think there's a few there, but I don't know. If they start actually spawning, I'll deal with it, but it's pretty much done for lighting up. I'm so happy they placed this, because now I can start doing this. I have a lot of dirt to get. I have nowhere near enough. If this platform took me multiple double chests to build, I need far more dirt than what I have. So I'm gonna have to go back to the savanna biome then. But we have our start. Of the next phase. So I'm pretty happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If anyone's watching this in the future, I don't think anyone's watching this right now. And I'll see you guys later. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll stream in a few days. Maybe I'll stream in a year. I don't know. Bye-bye.